morning, everyone, and welcome to American Scouser's Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. It's Friday. We are here with the regular crew. It's a reckless Friday. As you can see, Reckless is in the house, and Anan is in the house. I'll start with Anan because shockingly, he's on time. What's happening?
Good morning. No, nothing's happening. I just wanted to be on time for once. You know, the season starts tomorrow, so there's a reason that gets you pumped and it gets you to wake up and be excited. So here we are.
Yes, Premier League is back, bitches. Yeah, it's good to have the whole shebang back and get the craze. Kazi, what's happening?
Yeah, good, brother. Yeah, feels like we've had about 20 minutes off. But other than that, you know, the season's here again. I genuinely feel like it's been 20 minutes. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here, you know.
So this says another day and no new incomings. And Sparky, where in the world is Sparky is a good game because he says good afternoon. I'm assuming he's back home. Good morning, my friends. And Anna says Ryan. All right, we started at a good note over here. So we had the press conference to talk about. So we'll kind of get to that so that we can finish with Liverpool. But I kind of wanted to start with this, if I can find it over here, which are like the rule changes. Somebody put it on Discord. Oh, I know where it's at. So let's go a couple of things that's I kind of like, couple of things I'm just not understanding. Cornwall is where Sparky's at today. Okay, let's start with the new rule changes. Let me get a bit closer. Okay, so semi-automated offsides will introduce. I mean, here's my question, I guess, on this one, Kazi, because this is one of the rules. I was like, well, it's a no-brainer. We're all going to be happy with this. What are we doing all summer that it doesn't kick in until November?
Because they've got a few. The referees must have a few bets on that they've got to get through first. Do you know what I mean? Before it can actually happen. I can't think of any other reason apart from the getting backhanders. I genuinely can't think of any. Why is it not ready? Every other league is prepared and stuff. This is the most watched league in the world with the most money in it, and you haven't got a system ready. And it's like when you get into the FA Cup, and some grounds have VAR and some don't. It's either you do or you don't for the whole competition. Yeah. Otherwise, it questions the integrity of the competition, in my opinion. So it's either you have the rule in or not. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean,
it is set up to have a scenario where we're gonna be like, come January, we're gonna be like, if this was implanted like in November or something like that. And I realize it's only on paper, it should only make things slower, not having it, right? Obviously, it speeds it up a lot, but I mean, what the hell, man? Just like freaking do it. How hard is it? This is the one that really is my biggest concern right here.
Yeah.
Only the captain can speak to the referee. Any other player will be automatically carded if they confront officials. I mean, Anan, I'd be all for this if it was being applied, because we saw it in the Euros that it's very wishy-washy, and like you would think the rules would be, when you come up with new rules, the rules goal should be to convert gray into black and white. Leave it to the Premier League to take something, or like soccer, I guess, overall. They're like, you know what, this was too black and white. Why don't we make this really weird? Because you saw the entire Portugal team whining in unity and like, during the Euros, no cards. And then randomly somebody will be carded. And I feel like some of those yellows are going to be really costly.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a matter of who's reffing the game and who the game is, like, who's playing against who. I don't see Anthony Taylor given 4 yellow cards when Kevin De Bruyne and Kyle Walker walk up to him. But I definitely see Anthony Taylor given a yellow card as soon as Trent walks up to him and says what's going on. So it's going to be a matter of who enforces it and how. And I don't see it being enforced, just like VAR. They can choose when to enforce it and they choose when not to.
There's an issue here, guys, which no one's mentioned. And I think it's important. They said if there's any foul language towards the referees, this was last year, you get sent off. That's why Virgil van Dijk gets sent off against Newcastle. So you enforce it for like the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the season, and then you just forget to enforce it for the rest of the season. Because everyone else is effing and blinding at the referees and nothing happens. But Virgil got punished for it. And this isn't just a Liverpool thing, and like, what was me against Liverpool? It's far from that, actually. Do it week 1, you do it week 38. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. Oh, but it was Liverpool United, and it was a massive game, and there's a big context of the game, and there's a big... If that's the fucking rule, you stick to the rule. That's how I don't care what the game is. I don't care what the intensity is of the football match. I don't care if it's Arsenal Spurs or Liverpool Everton. I don't care. If that's the rule, make sure you roll out your rule and you do it to the letter of the law. But the issue is, mate, and we all know this, they don't do that because they don't want to make themselves the target on Monday Night Football when they've given out 11 yellow cards. They don't want that to happen. But they need that to happen because that's what sends the strong statement. If that's the rule, you enforce the rule. And that's what the frustrating part for Liverpool fans was last year. After Virgil got sent off, I think it was like 2 weeks later. And then everyone else is in the referee's face, shouting, swearing, and no one else.
We have Bruno touching the referee and tapping him, and nothing even. He didn't even get a talking to. 2 games after Virg got a red, Bruno was shoving the ref, and he was like, "Hey man, like back off." Didn't even give him a yellow card.
Yeah, and that's my biggest issue with it.
I mean, Ryan says Kazi nailed it. FA has a hard time carrying out these rules all year. And I think what they do is, this is why I hate when they say this is the point of emphasis this year. And they do this with every sport, meaning we're going to really care the first 2-3 weeks. And then it's just going to be just like one of the other rules, like pulling each other in the box. I was listening to, there was like a thing on YouTube. It was from like the referees camp. Kevin, what's his last name?
Friend.
Yes, they were interviewing him, right? I mean, every answer he gave to questions was just like, so we don't know. Like there was not one definitive answer. They were talking about, like pulling jerseys and stuff like that, holding in the box on set pieces. And he's like, oh, you're gonna have some of that, we want the physicality, but we're not going to have, people push. So which one is it? Are you going to have it? Are you not going to have it? Like, how strict are you going to be? And it all goes back to it's not going to be consistent. I think Matush was saying it earlier. It's going to be so inconsistent. And I know like bigger clubs will get away with much more. In the whining department, I would think so, right? And we'll see it today. Because here's the thing, especially the first 2-3 weeks, Kazi, it's going to be on full display. Like today is when it starts with the United Fulham game. The complaint, because remember when Trent got a yellow card for throwing the ball away, supposedly slowing the game down for a throw-in. The first 2-3 weeks, they were all over that, and then it was like, this is boring. Like they get bored.
This game today is really interesting because if United struggle for the first 60, which I expect them to, because I think Fulham are half decent side, I think if United struggle, you will see a lot more time wasting from Fulham, but also you'll see a lot more of the United players getting a bit hasty, a bit arrogant when the decision's not going their way and the crowd's actually on their back. And let's see if you enforce the rules then. We shall see. But I just don't see this happening. I see it might happen for the first 3-4 weeks and then they forget about it. So
I mean, I don't know about big clubs, but there's definitely a game, so it should be interesting. It'll start when week 3, half of United's 24 squad will be on yellow. I don't think they will. And, they're going to do it. What's going to hurt is they're going to do it early in games to set the tone. And once they set the tone, that guy is now carrying a yellow the entire freaking game, and there's going to be some stupid red cards and stuff. Yep. And once they're going to be like, oh, we don't want to, as referees, we don't want to affect the score of the game and blah, blah, blahs. And then we're going to go back to our default settings. Referees will no longer automatically give a yellow card for non-deliberate handballs.
Agree with that.
I do agree with that, but I mean, we can get to the handball thing because I am just so confused with that. VAR officials will not get involved in subjective decisions. Only clear and obvious errors will be looked at.
Which is what it was meant to be rolled out for. So you're just going back to what the fucking thing is for, you absolute morons. Instead, you've got a few bets on and you're fucking influencing the game again.
Well, we were thinking.
Oh, man.
Why don't we do? And this again goes back to you have something like VAR that should be getting rid of the gray. And no, because now the clear and obvious, is it really clear and obvious? We're going to go back to that. Team news will now be released 75 minutes before kickoff. It should help our pre-match shows. Well, aside from that, I don't know if you guys care. I mean, it just complies.
I think this is strictly for fantasy.
By the way, no, I can tell you right now, because I've sat in the Liverpool priority section. You get the team news 15 minutes before everyone else. They send around a piece of paper and give you the team news 15 minutes before it's released. So that's standard across the board anyway for every single footy club. That will happen because I've said
they don't want the ITK accounts to release the info. They want
because again, if you're with these like complimentary things, you go in there for like 4 hours before, have food and drink, and it's like, but they hand the team news 75 minutes before kickoff. So that is a thing anyway. They're just releasing it this time. You know what
I
I
was
mean?
gonna say, like you said, fantasy, but unfortunately, in stupid fantasy, you can't change your lineups anyway. Victor
That's
was just
true.
commenting. This is why I stopped doing fantasy because it's too stupid. It's more like to me, it just becomes like a guess the lineup kind of a game. So today, as Victor was saying in Discord earlier, a lot of Americans are gonna find out the hard way that once the United game is in effect, you can't change shit from the rest of the weekend, even though they're not even playing for another like 48 hours or whatever, which is really stupid. So we're gonna get to the slot press conference because there's a few things there. I thought it was pretty, reading like through the notes real quick, it sounds pretty vanilla and like just basic. But where are we at? No mid-season Christmas break for the players. It's like keep playing. Stoppage time will be so here's what I understand. Stoppage time will be shorter. What is that supposed to mean? What are we not counting now to add?
Another A+ rule there from the referees to announce that and release that, so then other teams can now waste time.
Yep.
If you didn't release that and just said we're going to make it shorter anyway, but the players don't know that. At least then the players still think it could be 12 minutes.
Yeah.
No. So well done there, referees. Another.
I mean, here's what are they not going to add that they were adding before?
No idea.
Right? I mean, because you're eliminating something that you were adding. What are they not going to eliminating? Like they're not going to add, like the injuries. They're not going to add substitutions. What are we cutting out here?
I think it's just a threat not to waste time. That's really what I think it is. It's just a threat not to waste time, so use your time wisely.
But the threat's gone. The threat is gone.
Yeah, that actually makes it worse. Now that I think about it, now you can waste time because you're guaranteed no more match.
Yeah, we're not going to add it. It's like take your time.
Yeah, we'll keep the ball in play for 20 minutes, knowing there's only going to be 3 minutes stoppage time. Absolute geniuses, honestly. Fuck me.
Ryan says stoppage time rule is dumb in a very American way. Let me throw this at this Kazi, and then let's hope this doesn't get clipped because we'll get the even when you're talking, people are going to be like, look at Yanks talking about soccer and stuff. We'll never say never with all the shit that has changed. Will soccer eventually have like a basketball, football type, only when in play clock kind of a deal?
I've got a feeling it's going to go that way. 60-minute games, stop clock. I've got a feeling it's going to go that way.
The Arsene Wenger way.
The ball on average, Tim, in the Premier League is only in play for 57 minutes.
That's why I thought 60 was like that's aiming high for them. That's
why I think it's going to be 60-minute games, 30-minute halves. But then you stop playing when the ball's out of play. I've got a feeling that's the way it's going to go. I don't like the way it's going to go because I love stoppage time. There's nothing better than a stoppage time winner. There's nothing better.
Yeah, there's the excitement of stoppage time, like especially now from like how long is going to be added to I mean that's when everything. It's like the last 2 minutes of like an American football game, or the only part of the NBA game you should watch, which is the last 2 minutes. Kind of
feels like that stoppage time winner is the greatest emotion in fucking football. It's the greatest feeling when your team scores a stoppage time winner, and they're going to take that away from you eventually. But yeah, I do feel like that's the way it's going to go.
Oh, Sparky, that if anything, Sparky, that is actually yet another reason for them to stop the clock, because now they're going to stop the clock for another 10 seconds so we can hear from our sponsors.
I mean, if you watch the American broadcast, there's, this offside is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Why is Progressive insuring the offside call? This free kick is brought to you by Geico. I'm like, wait, what about Progressive? What, aren't they rivals?
They only like offside. They don't like goal kicks. There's a new Premier League Match Center social media accounts that will communicate the facts.
I did see it.
So much transparency.
So, not only is that one, so they got this lovely account to say we're going to tell you what's going on with VAR and stuff, but the fans who paid 60 quid a ticket don't know this because they're inside the fucking stadium.
And service is really shit, so they can't get on their phone.
If you've been to Anfield, mate, getting service at Anfield feels like a black hole, right? You can't get service at Anfield. It's so hard in certain grounds, that part of the ground. So not only do those fans who are paying the money to create the atmosphere, because we've all seen COVID football, that the fans on the side of the ground is very, very important. They don't know. But the people at home who are sitting there, who are watching it on Sky or other platforms, then know what's actually going on with that decision and the reason why it was happening.
Are they going to do the ref explaining? They're doing that in the Premier League, right? It doesn't say over here, but I thought that was one of the things. They're not doing that
I
like
don't
they did
think
in
they're
Olympics
doing
and
it
stuff?
yet. It was talked about last year, but it doesn't seem like it was added to
No,
this
I
season.
thought they were. It
No.
was being implemented. Mind you, I never understand anything that is being said.
Because
So
you
I
can't
don't
hear
know.
the refs.
Yeah, I mean, why don't they feed it into the broadcast? Because I understand the stadium sound is what we're getting, so we're getting all kinds of echoes. So I'm like, I don't understand the word he said. I'm like, was he saying it French? Like, what is happening
It
here?
also didn't help that the last time we saw it was at the Copa America, and most of the refs didn't speak English. So it went, I get the yellow card, and everybody's like, wait, what did you just do? Well, I play number 6. I'm like, is that 6 or 7 or 8? Because he said and it turns out it's number 9. But yeah, that's probably why.
I do know about this one. I will back the referees on this. The referee said we can be mic'd up and we can play it, and the club said no.
Why do you think? So they don't want their players to be heard?
Players are probably saying some horrific shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm saying, and then this nice, like, goody two shoes. Oh my God, he's a great professional. And then he's probably talking things about his wife and stuff. Then it's just not like something that you really want to get out there. So, and also the language. If you want to try and feed this through, what are you going to listen to when a football player is effing and blinding and they just got to bleep it all out anyway? You're just not. It's just, you know what I mean. So the referees have suggested this, and they said no.
You can tell Ryan never played defense. That would suck. Ball into touch, like 2 rules. Mind you, how can you be against the time clock thing and then introduce these over here? Ball and touch. So almost like basketball, basically. Like, so the ball can go as long as it's not touched.
I agree with golden goal. I actually loved golden goal. I think
golden goal and extra time for tournaments and cups. I don't mind the golden goal. It only increase, but I think it makes it even cagier.
I think it makes yes, and I think that was the reason why they got rid of it. I remember Liverpool in the UEFA Cup and so as the one with golden goal and McAllister scored.
Yeah.
That was golden goal. Trezeguet scored in the Euro final, golden goal, I think. When Trezeguet won France the Euro final, I think that was golden goal. And it could have been semi-final to get to the final of the Euros. I think it was golden goal. And again, as you just said, it could be a more cagey and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I just feel like the one rule I would change is always no throw-ins. You can kick it back into play.
Well, there goes Rory Delap's job.
Hey,
the guy is retired.
What are all these players that our specialty is long throw going to do?
Jurgen brought a throw-in specialist, and now we fire him because he's still at the club.
The thing is, though, I would genuinely, it should be your choice. If you want to throw it, you throw it. If you want to kick it, you kick it. Like,
nobody's going to want to throw it. I mean, nobody's going to throw it.
I mean, unless you get, like, again, players who can just launch the ball into the box and create havoc that way.
Yeah, but doesn't that take away the corner?
No. Why would it?
I mean, you'd rather have a throw-in, dude. It's a better angle because you can curve it either way.
I mean, it's like that now. Yeah, but I mean, I want to try and keep the ball flowing.
No, I mean, in terms of like earning a corner, like winning a corner. Now you're like, okay, we got a corner. Like people bust their butts to convert a corner to a throw-in by like running all the way over there. And if they're just gonna take the kick from there, I think the corner is worse than a throw-in now suddenly because you can't curve the ball either way.
Yeah, but I just feel like players just keep the ball out of play just to get a throw-in, and you should be punished for that. Really, like these lads are paid hundreds of grand to use their feet. I'm gonna ask them to throw the.
You should do like how they used to do it when I was a kid. Like 3 corner kicks is a penalty. I don't know that was a thing. I don't know that was a thing in UK because when you're playing only a 3v3, like corner kicks are pointless. So 3 corner kicks were a penalty. Is how we
see. The only rule I would change, and I would pay a lot of money to change this, is the stutter step in penalties. I want that to go away. It's the most annoying thing ever. They've stopped keepers from moving on the touchline. Why the fuck are these guys stutter stepping? Go one direct shot, boom, and it's over. But this whole Jorginho stupid thing that now everybody does pisses me off.
Or the Pogba one that takes like 35 seconds for him to come to the ball. Yeah, I think it's bullshit. Like you already have a huge advantage. It's a huge ass goal. Just kick the goddamn thing in.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They should change because it was the pace. You could change the pace. Now they literally stop and go because it's not really closely monitored. Everybody's looking at the goalie, make sure he doesn't come off the line, but nobody looks at the kids. Sparky says all the kids do it now. And I can see the advantage of it, which is why this bullshit. It's like you already get a penalty.
But there was an advantage in the keeper moving in the touchline, and they took that away. But they kept the advantage of the stutter step, which just is really slightly unfair. Which also reminds me of, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Saudi League, but there was a guy who ran all the way back to his goalie's goal, and then he ran up to take the penalty, and then he still missed, and it did not look good.
Yeah, it's not about that the momentum you get from all that running. You probably wore out by the time you got to the freaking
On the
ball.
bright side, he was
Yeah.
making generational money, so he's okay.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Generational one. Either let the keeper move like that or don't like to take.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I think there's a part as well where the keeper coming off the line thing. I don't even understand that rule. Keeper should be able to come off the 6-yard box, like into the 6-yard box. In my opinion, fucking ship him.
They should do a hockey thing. You know how many injuries there will be, but it'd be a lot more fun, like a 1v1.
The one thing I actually will agree with about with the Americans here, you have penalties, correct, with the old MLS penalties where you just run from the halfway line, have a 1-on-1. I'm a big fan of them.
Yes, I thought they were like, but I mean, that's like talking about like waiting for injuries to happen. I mean,
of course, but they were just brilliant, weren't they? Just to watch, like,
yeah,
see your ability go 1-on-1 on goal instead of just hitting a ball in the net. Do you know what I mean? I love that, man. I used to love those videos. But yeah, mate, again, these rule changes, the referees, and again, some of them we agree with, like the handball. I think we all agree with that and stuff like that. Yep. But I don't know, mate. I just feel like...
I don't know. I don't see anything that I'm like, it's going to be a lot better. It's just like...
Yeah, and I really, really hate that they've announced the stoppage time thing. I've really, really hated that. Like, that really annoyed me. Because, again, we're playing Ipswich tomorrow. You know what I mean?
No shit, right? I mean, they're going to be home. They're not going to be crowd pressure to get going. It's not like it's going to be an Anfield or anything like that. So, yeah, the game. So, we'll get to the game. Let's start with Slot's press conference. I don't know if you caught it, Anan. I just read through the notes real quick. The interesting parts. Kazi, you said you looked at it.
Yeah, I watched it this morning. I've got to get used to having a different manager because he's just not as charismatic as the other one. But the other one's one of the most charismatic people in the world. So it's like very, very difficult for me to adjust. He is quite funny. He does have a couple of like little one-liners. He said a really funny line. A journalist said to him, "This is Darwin Núñez's third season. You know, how do you get the best out of Darwin Núñez?" And he said, "I thought you said first season, then I would have said we signed a player." I thought that was quite funny. I like that. You know what I mean? I do like that little bit of fun about it. But he's very honest. What I like about him, he's not like Jürgen when he goes, "I'm not even going to talk to you about that." He's very honest. He'll just go, "Yeah, I tried to sign Zuma Mendy, didn't want to come." And he's very, very honest. He's very open with that. He talks about Trent, for example. Tim, I don't know if you got the quotes there about moving into midfield. And he goes, Trent can play two great positions for us. He comes into right back and midfield.
Hold on, I missed that in the transcript. Oh my God, yes, it's right here.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it on the screen and get scared altogether. Let's see.
I think
it's on the screen over here. Let's get rid of ads. That's the thing. The Trent parts.
Yeah.
First aim is to bring the best out of the team and help. It helps if you also bring the best out of a player. Known for playing as a right fullback all of his life, I think. And when he was a youngster, he played in midfield. In the modern game, you'll see a lot of fullbacks going into the midfield. This is what he did last season once in a while, and I saw him playing in the Euros in the midfield. So I think he's capable of playing both positions really good. And then it's up to me where I think he could help the team the most. Just call me, Arne, and I'll tell you where you should play.
I think the reason why he's saying that, though, Tim, and I think that's why we need to break it down a little bit. He's lost out on his main target. Let's get it right. He's lost out on his target. He wants to Zuma Mendy. We all know this. He talks about it. The reason why I think he's doing this now is because the emergence of Conor Bradley as well and how good he's been.
Yeah.
It's given him a really interesting headache for a manager to have. Like, I think we all agree that Conor Bradley's been excellent in pre-season again. Every time we see him, he's been really good. And I think what he's thinking with Trent, well, if he can do a bit of both for me in certain moments in games, not like, by the way, I'm not saying, Tim, I think what your biggest frustration is, though, Tim, is that he's trying to do both at the same time. It's either you commit to one or the other. So if you do Bradley...
No, my frustration is when he's in midfield, he doesn't try to do both at the same time. He just totally gives up on the other one. He's
That's
like,
if he has a right back, sorry, let me do with it. But if he has a right back, though, like Conor Bradley, and then he's playing Trent and Jones or Trent and the Szoboszlai or a McAllister, would you be okay with that then if Bradley's playing right back?
The only time I'm okay with Brian Shelton is lurking. It's like shark in the water, man. I swear, because Trent conversation came up. But the only time I'm okay with him going up to midfield is when we're chasing a game and you're taking out your number 6 and you're trying to become more offensive and you push Trent over there and you put Bradley in because maybe Trent got too tired to do the overlap runs. That is but the game is already gone, or the points are almost gone. I just don't want him starting that in any given game because he does not track back, because he doesn't do it as a right back. God knows he's not going to do it as a midfield.
So if we're playing a a team that likes to sit back. Those were very notoriously known for not being able to break those teams down. Would you play Trent in the middle to give you that killer pass?
No.
Even if you know
He's
he
a
can give
killer
you the
from the
killer
right
pass.
side. The guy has his assist from the right side. And I would argue, even when you look now, after he's gone into this inverted role and stuff, look at his assists, where they're normally coming from. And how many times, as good as Bradley is, like there were so many times in the preseason where he makes a great run, he's in a great situation, and then the final ball quality. I mean, it's a high bar. It's like comparing the backup to Ali or something. I understand that, comparing the final ball quality. But there were so many times I'm like, if Trent is on that ball, that's a goal because he's going to put the ball exactly where it should go. And that's why I want Trent there and put your freaking midfielder where the midfielder should be.
And not to compare this to that, but in the few games where Southgate first played him in the middle, it was a couple of qualifiers and a friendly. He had 3 goals and 2 assists coming from the middle. Not okay, maybe it was against Moldova. I don't remember Malta, I think. But he still played that role. And that's what made Jurgen say, oh, wait a minute. And that's where
you could have played that role and got an assist that game.
Yeah, that's where that whole thing started. So he's capable.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, but we're not playing Malta.
I'm gone. I think I agree with both senses here. I don't agree with the inverted role, but I agree with playing Conor Bradley right back and Trent in a double pivot. In a double pivot, not on his own as a 6. This is the difference. We gotta forget the Jurgen Klopp system and go to this system. Can he play alongside a McAllister, Tim? That's the conversation I think we have to have with Bradley right back. It's not about the inverted role. We need to forget that. Can he do that? I think he can, personally. And I think he has a chance now because you've lost out on Zubimendi. And I think he has to go, well, you know what? We have to adapt here. Liverpool aren't going to go out and panic buy. We're not doing this kind of shit anymore. It's like, so what do you do? Jones has injury issues. We all agree with that. So Jones could be out of games. McAllister doesn't look ready to me. I wouldn't play McAllister tomorrow. We'll get to the team, but I wouldn't play him tomorrow. You're getting basically Gravenberch has barely played the role. Szoboszlai who hasn't played the role. So you're actually getting to a stage where you go, well, can I just trust Bradley to go right back and do Trent in the 6? With alongside a Szoboszlai.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this because Copper says, do you think Gravenberch is the best 6 we already have? I mean, you said he hasn't played that a lot. Well, neither has Trent.
Well, of course, but all right. But Trent's probably played it more in terms of what he's done for England, in terms of coming into the midfield. Probably has done it more. But I would argue is that Trent's ability on the ball. I think if Bradley's right back, I hate the inverted role. I hate it. I don't like it at all. It only works for City because City play 4 centre halves. We look so imbalanced because of Robertson. Do you know what I mean? Because, again, the balance isn't there. But I do agree that Trent can do a 6 job. I do, as long as he's got someone with him and a right back. That's just me.
I kind of like what we do now, and that's why I thought Bradley got in those situations where, like, he is inverted, right, a little bit. Because you look at positioning of, like, Bradley was on the right side of the circle and stuff like that. And then Mo goes wide. And when Mo goes wide, that overlap run is there. Szoboszlai had an assist like that a couple of times. Bradley got in those situations and stuff like that. See, I love Trent making that overlap run. And that's why I want him there. I mean, I agree with Kopic. I think right now, as of now, whereas John, when you need him, but Gravenberch is probably the most suitable for that spot. How well he will do, I mean, very small sample size that we saw in Liverpool. But go ahead on.
I don't know if he's suitable or he's forced to be suitable. But there's a big difference between saying, you know what, this is our best option versus this is what we got. And I think we're going with this is what we got because Gravenberch is not the best 6 we have. He's not suited to be the 6.
But it's not crazy. A 6, if you will. It's not like a Fabinho 6. It's like.
Yeah, so Trent can do it. I think Jones can do it. And I know that's not Jones' type of player, but Jones can do it. We've seen Jones going in for tackles. We've seen Jones, busting his ass. Because really in that position, you don't need to be a perfect tackler. You just need to bust your ass. So we're saying Gravenberch can bust his ass and also can receive the ball and turn. I think Jones can do that. I think Trent can do that. I think McAllister is doing that. So he's not the best 6 we have. He's just what we have.
Here's the thing, Kazi, before I pass it on to you, because from what I see so far, the key thing with that 6 is everybody considers 6 to put a tackle in and win the ball. But during the build-up, that 6 has to be able to receive with their back to the player, with a press coming and be able to distribute it. I don't think Trent is very good at that role. And I honestly was really questioning how good Curtis is in that role at times. Even though he's really great with it, I feel like he almost tries to do too much. He's a lot better player when he tries to play simply. Technically, I think Curtis is probably very suitable for it. I think that's where I like Gravenberg with it, maybe because of his like frame, but he's able to hit the ball and protect it.
I know Kazi wants to go, but let me say one thing. Trent is fucking amazing at receiving the ball with his back there. Trent is... I don't know where that theory came from that he's not good
Malta,
at it.
He's great at it, yes.
No, forget Malta. Just watch Trent regardless. When he's playing with Mo and Mo is coming with the ball and he's facing Mo, gets the ball and turns. It's literally what Trent does. I don't know where that came from that he's not good at it. He does it down the wing. When Mo gives him anytime you see him playing on the wing, facing the winger, facing Mo or whoever is playing there, he gets the ball. He's always turning. I don't know where it came from that Trent can't turn with the ball away from players. I don't know where that came from.
For me, I think the Trent thing is here, right? I don't think there's a better player in our team who can receive the ball without taking a touch and passing. So if you are under pressure in the 6 role and you've got a lad behind you and Virgil's passing you the ball, I don't think there's a better player to hit the ball first time out to Robertson.
No, I get that.
So to get you out of that pressure. So I do think there's that massively benefits him. I understand your point. I think McAllister will become the key cog in this whole thing.
Yeah.
We're not after a Fabinho. That system does not work for Liverpool anymore.
Yep.
That we are not after that type of number 6. We need the number 6 who can take the ball under pressure and not lose it. That's why I think Curtis Jones will be so valuable to him, because I think he's the best in our team at doing it. Under pressure, he doesn't lose the ball and he's great with both feet. That's all he wants out of his midfielders. You know what I mean? And then the rest can all come, you professional footballers, to pass a ball.
That's worried me with how long he was keeping the ball. I mean, and let me ask you this, because you brought that about Trent. The only thing I worry about that is, and I think you're right? If somebody's going to receive the ball and suddenly whip it, like in front of Mo or Diaz or something like that, he's the guy to do it. The only problem is I can also see him trying to be almost too cute and creative. You want somebody who's going to make a safe pass there. If he's going to play
seen Gravenberg?
I mean, it's
in that role, he's different.
Did you see the first 14 minutes at Sevilla?
Okay.
He did great, actually.
I thought he played well against Sevilla.
He did, but did you see every time he got the ball, he would try to dribble 3 people until he loses it?
I think
he did it twice in like 6 minutes. In the first 6, I was taking notes. I'm like, wait a minute, John, what is happening here?
Hang on a second. We are judging these lads on the back of preseason friendlies, and let's get it right.
Absolutely, yes.
All speculation. Because we have no idea. Preseason means fucking nothing to me. Because otherwise, Fabio Carvalho is Liverpool's best player. And he's no longer a Liverpool player.
Sign that man.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly.
50 million.
I do feel like, yes, we all agree that we want a 6 and we all want someone who's specialist in the role. But I do see Liverpool's point of view a little bit when you go, well, you got 5 or 6 lads who can do the same role. Like, I'm only going to play. I think Harvey Elliott's so important to him in terms of the one who's linking up the player. I think we've seen that in preseason. So we need to take a look at them. We need to have a look at these lads. We need to see some fucking live football to make a judgment here. And by the way, this is another part of this conversation. Liverpool have fucking 3 fucking live games of football before the window closes. If it ain't fucking working out and you draw with Ipswich, you beat Brentford and you go to United and lose, well, that's on fucking you. And you live and die by your sword. And by the way, all those 3 results could happen. It's not like that's impossible that Liverpool can go to Ipswich and draw in their first game back in the Premier League in 22 years. Then you just beat Brentford and then you go to Old Trafford, which is a notoriously difficult ground for Liverpool to play at. That could definitely happen. Then you might be able to make some changes. Then you might be able to see some things. But Liverpool needs to play some live fucking football. I'll be amazed if McAllister starts tomorrow. I'll be absolutely...
You don't think that decision is not made, though?
Yeah, but I also think there's a part where you go, I think Liverpool, we can get to the transfers thing. I think Liverpool not signing a player right now, or say Liverpool only signing one, is the biggest misstep since not signing a player since 2019. We have so much business to do next year. It is a joke. We might have to sign a right back, a centre half, a right winger, a number 6. We have Robertson, who's got a year left then. We have Kanate, who's got a year left then. So you might be doing 2 centre halves. You might be doing another left back. Kostas Tsimikas knocks at your door and goes, I'm not playing, can I go? Then you sign the backup left back. Then Luis Diaz's dad is on the phone to Barcelona going, come and get my son every fucking week. Liverpool, right now, you need to stop this happening. And as much as you stop this happening, you sign a couple now and go, I'm boxing number 6 off for 10 years. I'm doing this one now for 10 years. At least then you're leaving yourself a lot less work. I don't want to be sold next season a transition season. I'm not getting sold that Because fuck off, that's on you too. You made it a transition season.
You made it the transition season, exactly.
Because you didn't do your fucking business last summer because you were too fucking picky again. So it's hard that you make a decision now and do it. I like what they're doing with the goalkeeper, and we can get to the goalkeeper thing. I think Ali's already made his mind up. I think Ali would have said to them, listen, year left. I'm getting Saudi Arabia at the door. You know what I mean? Bobby says it's lovely out there and I'm having a lovely time. And I've won everything. And I get that. And by the way, that's fair play to Alisson. So I agree with what they're doing with the keeper. I also like to, by the way, I'm banging into the idea of Richard Hughes' first signing is for Bournemouth. Genius. But, so I agree with that.
Going through his old files at Bournemouth.
Bournemouth need a keeper. I've just been there for 10 years. Didn't get them a keeper. You've come to Liverpool.
Sign over there.
And what makes it even worse is he targeted him last year for Bournemouth.
Yeah,
he wanted him there last year.
Personnel files.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm not being sold with the 2025 season as a transition season. I think it's bollocks. You get your shit sorted now before you've got to go. Let's get it right. Liverpool probably have to go and sign a right winger who's left-footed, which is extremely difficult, by the way. And I keep saying this, but people go, well, just get rid of Salah now for 100 million, sign Anthony Gordon. The most Salah replacements has to be left-footed, you fucking morons. That's where the balance comes. You have a right foot, you know what I mean? And they're very difficult. That's why we're, what's his name? Is it Minter from Newcastle, who was on loan at Ajax, and he's went to Brighton, and he's tearing a pre-season. That's why Liverpool were looking for 30 million, and you're going, can you do that one now?
Yeah.
You might have to do that. You've got an issue with Kanate. He's got 2 years left. You might have an issue with Van Dijk. So you might be actually going, well, Jalal Kwanzaa can do it, and then, oh, by the way, Joe Gomez is not playing with any footy, and he fancies a little move now. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be sold that, gents. So let's get the signings in now and go from there.
I guess my biggest concern is if they really drag on this and the season is not going great, we're going to spend entire December talking about, settling in for whatever we're getting in January for these guys, because we don't want to let them go for nothing at the end, especially if the season is not going well. So that's something that I'm definitely not looking forward to. I wish they would, figure out some of those things so that you don't have to go full blown next summer. I guess they still have a couple of weeks. I really like the goalie move. I wish we did that with a winger. We did that with the center back and stuff like that. Just get it. I mean, we always were like, how is he going to play? Where is he going to play? Well, he's going to play at Bournemouth, or he's going to play at Fulham, or whatever the fuck,
I see Brian's commenting, and I want to mention it about the contract situation, and I get that, and Brian's 100% correct. But if I'm a fucking football player at Liverpool right now, and I'm one of those lads on the contract, I want to see where you're fucking at. Are we going to be 8th in the league at Christmas? Are we going to be fucking top of the league at Christmas? Because we have no idea.
They probably have no idea either, because we don't.
Because, you know what I mean? We have zero idea. I think Liverpool fans are all kind of resigned. They're losing Mo Salah at this point. I think we're all resigned to the fact. Yeah. But there's also a part, if you're Liverpool Football Club and Liverpool are sitting 8th in January, you may as well sell Salah.
Yeah.
But if you're going for the Premier League and you're in the Champions League, then you may as well keep Salah and try and win this. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a balance.
You're not going to, I guess my concern is that if you're going to do whatever you're going to do, if you're going to sell them and you're going to get, 80 or whatever now, that's going to be 30 or 40 in January, and that's a lot of money to lose, like middle of January. Copper says Gravenberg because he did do it on Ajax and he did it well. I'm assuming that's what he's trying to say there, and I do agree. I think right now he's probably the most suitable. So you said, okay, let's do a lineup real quick as we get close, so we can do some predictions and stuff too. But so the lineup, let's start with the lineup. Ali is in goal, correct?
Are we all having an agreement lineup? Are we all doing an agreement lineup?
I don't know if we're going to agree on this. I already sense that we're not.
I think Kazi has McAllister not starting. I have McAllister the first name on the team sheet.
I have it as well, yes. I have McAllister definitely starting. I know what you're saying.
Gravenberg
look rusty, but I'll take a rusty Mac to kind of settle things down over there.
We all agree on the back five.
Yeah, let's start with that. Okay,
Bradley, Kwanzaa, Verge, and Timikas.
I'm sorry, who are you playing right back?
Bradley.
Over Trent?
Yeah, so much for the so much for the combined lineup over here. That went down the drain in a heartbeat.
Reckless again.
So hold on 1 second.
Yeah, okay. So you're putting Trent in midfield. Okay, give us your 11 so that we can just.
It's a double. It's a number 6 that you've never seen in preseason. You haven't even seen them play together.
Yes.
But you think he's going to go away with.
So I saw enough. I saw enough in the England 11. I saw enough in the England 11 that I want to put him there and try it out, but I don't want Connor Bradley to lose his position.
Away at Ipswich on half
Away
12.
at Ipswich.
You don't think you do it at Brentford at home when it's the easier game. You think you do it at half 12.
So here's the thing. I think Brentford at home, everybody's fit and everybody's ready to go. I think we see a very different lineup as well.
I don't think he changed.
Okay, I'm gonna put this on here because I'm in agreement.
Allison Trent,
except
I like that.
I do accept
Maka
Robert
Jones.
to
So,
start.
ooh, I agree with everything almost except for the two that I don't agree.
I agree with that lineup apart from Simicast. I think Robertson
and Maka. You agree that Maka won't start?
Yeah, Maka is in there.
Maka won't start. I think he does Jones, Szoboszlai, Elliott.
So Jones. So wait, are we not? Why are we not saying Gravenberch starts? Because the talk from Arnie makes it seem like Gravenberch is the makeshift midfielder now in that position.
Maybe he is. I just don't think he'll start him. I just don't think I've seen enough from him.
Also, very random. Just came to my head. Why are we counting Endo out completely?
Because he won't be at Liverpool.
He doesn't fit. I explained this in the previous shows.
He won't be at Liverpool. He won't be at Liverpool in 3 weeks.
You guys don't think he stays?
Oh, I think he stays.
No.
You don't think so? You think he's being sold? I think he stays. He's your kind of like when I said you're chasing a game.
I get what
And
you're
then,
saying.
you put Trent up top. I think you're kind of controlling and killing a game. Last 20 minutes, you send them out there, get a couple of tackles in.
So wait, also Elliott. You guys don't have Elliott starting. I didn't see anybody having Harvey. You do. Okay, you do.
I have Jones, Szoboszlai, Elliott.
Because I just paused. I'm like, wait, Elliott's very fucking important this season. Why is he not on my lineup? Yeah.
I think he goes to the midfield that he does against United and Arsenal. I think which is like Jones, Szoboszlai, Elliott. And they're the games that we win and look our best football, basically. So I think he'll do that. And I agree with the front three with Diaz, Jota, and Salah.
Yeah.
So the one statistic I didn't like yesterday that I was looking over the pre-match. Liverpool have lost. Well, Liverpool didn't win 4 out of their last 5 away games. And I know this is a Jurgen thing, and now we're in a new era. But does that worry anyone that we don't perform well away in our last, technically 9, but specifically 5?
It's last year, wasn't it, when we all fell off a cliff?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like shit the rest of the. Let me ask you guys this.
The thing is, we've got the exact same players. Nothing changed.
I agree with that, but you've all had a break. This is Mo Salah's last fucking first break of a summer in fucking years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I do think, and I agree with what Arnie said a little bit in the press conference, where if you don't sign anyone, you get weaker. But I also think if you lose Matip, you definitely get weaker, because I thought Matip was excellent last year before his injury. So I kind of slightly disagree in that sense, but I do think a change of formation might help massively.
So Kopish has that. I think we're in agreement there. Except the common sense agrees.
So this looks the most likely. Maka, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai. That looks the most likely.
Yeah,
I just don't know if you put Mac and Gravenberch, who have not had enough playing time. I have more faith in Mac being able to adjust than Gravenberch, so I'm putting Jones next to him just for stability reasons. That's my only reasoning for it, to be honest.
I just don't doing Mac. I think, bro, he's played so much fucking footy where you're just like, can you just have another week off? Can he just have a week where he doesn't have to kick another fucking footy?
Get out there!
Exactly, just whip the lads. I'd do Mac against Brentford at home to get him ready for United, but I wouldn't do him now.
Well, that's the thing. We got United in 2 weeks, right? And what do we do? Do we get these guys fitness minutes by playing them in these games, or do we get them a few minutes at the end of each game and use training to get them fit? Because
here's another thing. Don't you
United,
want somebody like Mac starting there when we're going to away Ipswich, the atmosphere and stuff like that? You want somebody experienced out there who's gonna not get affected by whatever they're at, because they've been World Cup finals and shit.
I think there's a party where you've got to fucking battle at this game. This game isn't going to be a stroll, I don't think. I think you're going to have to fucking battle and work hard. And I think the fittest players can battle and work hard, which is where Szoboszlai and Jones do come in for me.
That makes sense, yeah. I think you can make a good case for whoever you're throwing over there, which is the dilemma. We don't have like a set. It could be a good thing and a bad thing, because it's kind of hard to prepare for as well. Let me guys ask you this. It's a new regime, right? Are we going to get rid of somehow the old regime's issue? And let me put the disclaimer that we all love Klopp, but I think we all agree that we started every game like shit.
Yeah, not conceding the first 5 would be fucking handy.
I mean, you guys think we're gonna see a change? I mean, if Slot is watching the tapes, if you will, isn't that the first thing that he's like, how come this thing gets scored on every first fucking 5 minutes?
So preseason means nothing, but it appears that it's the complete opposite now. We started every game strong and finished very weak. Now, of course, substitutions and 15-year-olds playing. That's why I'm saying preseason means nothing. But if preseason is an indicator of everything, is this team starting games differently? Because did you guys notice, even again, like I think it was Serzi that said, if Anand noticed it, I'm sure everybody else noticed it. But did you notice the kickoff style is completely different?
Yeah.
Jurgen's kickoff is pass, send it to Verge or Kwanzaa. They send it all the way down. Everybody runs. It's completely different with Arnie. It's pass. Don't even go forward.
Which I've been saying this for years in the play we do now, where possession is important, right? People are busting butt to keep possession. I never understood why every team did a kickoff. You're busting your ass to keep the ball, and the first thing you do is just aimlessly boot it up there. If you're gonna do that, then just have the goalie punt it every time. If
these coaches are playing too much FIFA, guys. That's what
yeah. I feel like again with the playoff, I like that one. I want to see that new corner style. Do you know everyone was standing at the back post and everyone just ran?
And everybody
I want to see that just for the laugh. That'll be funny.
Are we just gonna not pretend like he did not take that from Guardiola's playbook? Are we just gonna fully ignore that Guardiola's been doing that for the last?
Pep thing, Pep doesn't really do it that often, but he has done it before. I agree with you. I think there's a part here where, yes, Tim, we need to stop. We need to defend better. We get that. We do get that. Liverpool, with this new way of doing things, of like, we're going to keep the ball, we're going to try and swallow teams and kill teams and not give them any hope. The problem is Liverpool used to give teams hope. And the problem is when it starts to become a thing of like, well, in the last 3 games, Liverpool conceded in the first 10. That's what, if you're the opposition, mate, that's what you're talking about in your team meetings. Yeah. Hey, lads, big first 15,
we can get at him early kind of thing.
Big first 15, get the lead and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? And that now becomes a thing. So now Liverpool need to get out of that thing, and you need to make it not become a thing anymore. Because that's still, if I'm Ipswich, again, 12:30, fans up for the first game, big first 20. Big first 20.
Yeah, I mean, I worry it's a lifestyle, like you guys know, but I am worried about this game just because of that fact, like that it's their first game. Like, if it was a Norwich away game or something like that, if they just came up, I'd be like, this is going to be nice and easy. But the whole thing about being away for so long, it gives me like Luton Town.
Yes.
And everybody's giving McKenna so much hype, and everybody wants to see him perform in his first Premier League game. What's a better welcome to the Premier League than him shutting out Liverpool and getting that 0-0 or that 1-1 draw that everybody wants?
But one thing I'd say though about the McKenna thing, he does play it. He wants the team to get on the ball. He just try and like, he might be a bit like Southampton a little bit, where he's a bit like, you can just see they're just trying to pass and they're going to play their football. He might have to adapt quick, but I don't know if he's going to adapt for the first game, if you don't understand what I'm saying. He might let it say, well, this worked last year. Let's see if it works now. Get battered a few times, and then
they will look at Burnley and be like, yeah.
It'll just remind me of QPR a few seasons ago when they had a dominant season in the championship. The Rapt was killing everybody. They had a great season, and they move up, and the first thing is like, we play the exact same way. Now that doesn't work because you don't get the same space in the league, in the Premier League, that you do in the championship. So they were like, wait, back to the drawing board. We need a whole new team.
It's not really the space as such. It's more you don't get the ball.
You don't get the ball.
Yeah.
You're only getting 30% when you used to having 70% in the championship. You just don't have the ball to kind of do your little bits and bobs. You might have really talented technical players, but you don't get the fucking ball. Like, so there's a difference of like having all these players. I think McKenna will change eventually, but I don't think he's going to change for the first day. I think you've got to have trust in the team and what they've done, and then they might get you over the line. You might get 45 points by January and then fall off a cliff. Do you get what I mean? And then it could be that.
It's a throwaway game for them, isn't it, Kazi? In some ways, like if they lose this game, nobody's going to be like, "Oh my god, it's the end of the world." It's like we started this. Our first game is against Liverpool. That's fine. We'll get points somewhere else.
Yes, but I don't think you can get beat 4-0. I think you got to lose 2-1.
Yeah,
I hear you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can get battered because the fucking fans are going to sit there. Like when Sheffield United got battered last year in the first couple of games, and you're like, "Oh, that's us for the season," and then everyone just battered them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it's got to go. Well, we set a marker down there. We had 40% of the ball, and Liverpool, and he just barely beat us with 10 minutes to go. They made some great subs, and we can't compete with the subs. And the fans can get on board with that. But if Liverpool score in the first 10 and beat you 5-0, then you're like, oh, fuck me, what do we do now? Do you know what I mean? So
and that's what I see happening tomorrow. I see us going out strong the first 20 minutes and getting 2 or 3 goals. I really see it going down that way. I love
the confidence, man.
I don't.
I don't either. Sergi says, am I the only one who's not nervous about? No, you're not.
This is weird. I'm usually the not very confident one. Hold on a second. What's going on?
Slott's playing in the 6, clearly. If he's going to be making the difference, he's on the fucking sideline. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make the difference at all. I think it's the 11 on the pitch that'll really make the difference for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trevor says Ipswich is potentially missing 20 goals worth of guys. I think the thing I worry about is the crowd and then stupid set pieces and stuff like that. Like not like run of play. I just worry about that more. Copper says only just found this channel on Your Talk Sense, and and this is the Reckless Friday. Just
this is
normal day. There's even more sense. Yeah,
that's the best compliment I've ever had.
No, so I'll give you guys what's my biggest worry about tomorrow. And again, preseason means nothing, but this is what I saw. Arne wants to play from the back. We've been struggling with that, haven't we? We're giving away the ball. We're making strongly horrible passes. And I'm not. Maybe Kelleher is just going to be different than Ali, and it's going to be different because Ali is better with his feet. Yes. But it has been quite strange. The first 7 minutes at Arsenal, we gave away the ball 3 times. 2 almost led to a goal. Yep. And it scares me because, again, the way Arne wants to do it, as he's made it clear, he wants the center backs to continue to pass to each other until they draw the pressure and then use your midfield. That scares me because
you know what scares me about that is Trent coming from that midfield with his back on.
No, but seriously, that is really scary. And to do it against the team tomorrow, we know McKenna's going to press. We know they're going to want to win the ball back. Yeah. We know our guys won't have the chance to turn and go regardless. So what do? Does he switch his game plan? Does he have a plan B? We don't know that about him.
No, I mean, that's when, basically, if they come up the middle and pressure, you're isolating your wingers. I mean, basically, the other team has to pick their poison.
Well,
so if they're coming up the middle like that, it goes back to the goalie. It goes out to Diaz or it goes out to Mo. And then you have 1v1 with your wingers.
So the understanding,
back, you kind of like come through the midfield. So I think, call your cardiologist and, renew your prescription. Yeah. I think this is basically what's going to happen.
The understanding is he wants the other team to press high. That's what he wants. He wants to pass the ball in the back so much that, when you get frustrated, fuck it, I'm going to get the ball. He wants that to happen. Now, it's 2 things. Yes, it'll create chances for us when we get that space. But 2, are we going to make a bad pass that ends up killing us?
I mean, but that's the chance you take in footy, innit? I suppose. Right. I think the goal I look at over the whole preseason is the Diaz goal, where Salah pins the defender. I think that's your way out, and you get your overlapping runners, and then the space is wide open for you because they press so high. But that's where Mo Salah's strength, of course, is a massive benefit to us. I'm hoping Darwin can show me that. Cody Gakpo's really strong, and I'm hoping he can show me that as well. And I think that's how you get out of jail. There's also a part here where I think with Alisson, I'm not worried at all. Listen, Liverpool will concede goals, by the way, off this. This is not going to be plain sailing. I think Liverpool will concede, but I think Liverpool will score a lot doing this. I think we're creating better quality of chances. For example, the Salah goal against Arsenal, where he's just basically one-on-one and he runs away from Gabriel, which was a nice thing to see, by the way, him pulling away from Gabriel. And then the Diaz goal, I think you're going to create better quality of chances doing that. You need those lappers from Szoboszlai. You need those runners going on past him. And I think that's how we get out of jail. If Ipswich fancy a big 20, which I think they will, I think they'll fancy a big first 20. I think Liverpool will get big chances. Really big chances.
That goal that Diaz scored, the tap-in, a vintage goal that we're going to see over and over and over. I mean, it was like I was watching the Feyenoord tapes again. I mean, that's a vintage goal that we're going to score all over. I know whenever I was watching the USA tour, I kept seeing Carvalho being isolated. And I was like, man, if this is Diaz, I do not want to be a right back or a center back having Diaz come at me 1v1. Right. And then we saw the goal that he scored. If he can do that, you're not going to do it every single time I'm putting that top corner. But if Diaz can do that, I mean, he's going to have a huge season. And
Diaz might be doing it for Barcelona.
No,
Diaz might be doing it for Barcelona. The bid is coming. That's what the Spanish media is saying.
And you have Gakpo doing it.
I needs to get ready.
Whoa. Did you see the press conference when he got specifically asked about Luis Diaz? He's going nowhere. I'm keeping him. He's my player.
So he spoke about that.
Spoke about it in the presser. He went, he's going nowhere. He's staying. I love him. I don't no.
So there goes So we're not getting Gordon either. Fuck. Okay.
Well, this is the thing about Tony Gordon. It's like he might have wanted the six lads up front and go, because of Jota's injuries, Salah might be leaving. I think that could have been another part of like the plan in place that we'll come up with next summer's transfer window. But he's going, well, I know Diaz is going to go next year, so we may as well get Gordon now when we have 6. Do you remember we had Coutinho for 6 months before he left? It was the greatest 6 months of my life. Like, it was just fantastic to watch. And we had Oxlade-Chamberlain as fittest and as best, but it was like,
good old Ox brings up memories. Let's do this real quick.
And I do think that's that as well, so.
let's do this real quick because there's 2 days left. Let me go back to this, I guess. Next to Anan over here is the Q code that you can scan that will take. Nope, the other way, bro.
Oh, it's here for me. Okay, but here.
That's the logo. Yeah.
It depends on where you are.
That's not a Q code. Yeah, that's our logo. So the Q code will take you to the GoFundMe as well as the silent auction. Speaking of the silent auction, we're getting close, but really, there's still 150 for that jersey that says 7-0 signed by Jamie. Robo's book, nobody reads anymore. Robo's book doesn't have a bid, for example. The Andy Robertson jersey is only at 150, which is a crime because it's signed by him. Hendo is 160, Jota. So there's still like some really good values to be had over there. So head on over, scan the Q code, and then for the GoFundMe, doesn't matter if it's $1, $5, whatever you want to donate. It all goes down to the 23 Foundation for Jamie Carragher's foundation, and we've done really well. The 24-hour podathon, the GoFundMe is up to 1,300 now, and obviously we have all these auctions going up. They do end tomorrow night. So do not wait till the last second and get outbid by somebody. Place your bid there now and get it all settled in.
I want my Robertson shirt. Don't you dare.
Just gonna bid on it for the sake of it, you know.
Yeah,
I like that 7-0 one. So I'm actually, once this is over, I'm gonna throw the bet. I'm gonna basically put what I can afford for it, and then let's see what it goes at over there. But we'll go from there. Slot system doesn't work on half the teams because they don't press. See, when they do not press, we overload the hell out of midfield and build through the middle is what I've seen when they play against like Ajax and PSV and stuff like that.
That's why an Elliott's so important to him.
Yes.
Find that little killer pass when Liverpool got them pinned in 35, 40 yards from goal, and that kind of player can do a little bit, little bits for him. That's where Elliott is so important.
Man, I'm getting the feeling Kopisch is actually John. Really big on Gravenberg. Kopisch, are you from Netherlands? Well, I can tell you're like a huge Gravenberg fan. But I do think this could be if he's going to make anything out of his career at Liverpool, this is a great opportunity for him, as I used to say for Ox over here. Okay, on our way out, let's get some predictions. I'm afraid to ask Anan, knowing his lineup and stuff, but like Ali as center forward, Nunez in goal. What do you have?
I've got a 4-0.
Dude, I love the confidence, but I will,
4-0.
4-0. That will be some starts. I'll give you that. Sparky is going with a 2-0 win.
I will 3-1 Liverpool, but I will say for the first 70 it's 1-0, and then Liverpool kill them with subs, and I don't think they could last the pressure of what Liverpool can provide with their first game in the Premier League, and they're not really used to it, and I just think they'll get tired, and Liverpool will just beat them on the counter with subs and stuff. So I'll say it's going to be a nervy 70, but then we're going to have a lovely last 20. 3-1 Liverpool.
Kopisch is going with 5-0. Serzi is at 3-0. Yeah, I love the confidence. I'm going with the Timuchin special. It's the only way to open a season, I feel like, right? A 3-1 win. It would be only appropriate. Start from here and keep going all the way down. But it's going to be tough, man. But here's the thing. If it's like what you're saying, Kazi, it's going to be a rough watch and a hard game.
Yeah.
If it's kind of like what Anan is saying, where we're going to start really hot and score a couple of games, it could be a good old time where you get some people like more minutes and stuff like that. But the fact that they're home and they're going to be all up for this, regardless, it's not like you're going to put the crowd out of the game with a 1-0 and stuff. Those guys are going to be in there all hyped up for this game. I guess that's my biggest concern going into it. But
we have a little chat about today because there's a football match today, and I think it's an important football match for the other red half of the North. Is our Manchester brethren.
Do you see it as a really big important game? I figure like it's Fulham at home, isn't it?
Fulham like to ruin the opening day for everybody. So
that's true.
I think with Fulham here, mate, tonight, and I think we are underestimating how good they are. And I do feel like with United, probably still going with Maguire and Lindelof, maybe, or a centre half, and then they haven't got a left back. I think they might be, they might do Martinez playing left back. I think this is a really interesting game.
Why are you saying Fulham is really good? Like, do you think the Smith Rowe move that makes like that big of an impact?
Yeah,
very organized.
Yes, I love the Smith Rowe move. I think they all know. I think every single player knows what they're about. I'm a big fan of Raul Jimenez. I think he's a great player. And I just feel like the way they play could really hurt United. I still expect United to probably win, or it'll be very, very close. I just think United are in the shit show still. I don't think they've got a striker who can score goals. I think he starts Fernandes up front last week on his own because he hasn't got anyone. He doesn't trust Zirkzee. He didn't even get him off the bench, even though you just signed him in a pre-season friendly, which is the Community Shield to me. I just think if you're Fulham, I think this is a great time to go to Old Trafford when they're still in a bit of a mix and you don't need to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when Wolves went there last year and battered them. Wolves fucking battered them and should have beaten 3 or 4-0, and then they get that lucky penalty toward. Wolves should have had a penalty.
They don't get the penalty. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one that punches the dude in the head, and they just keep going. They're like,
exactly. And I just think it's going to be. I just don't think it's going to be as clear cut as a United win. I think it's really, really tough for them.
I don't know. All I know is it's good to have the real thing back in action over here. Back to the stressful life of Premier League, baby. No more speculations. And then we have 2 weeks left in this window. There'll be multiple signings coming in. It's going to be a good old time over here. Come on, Anand, have some goddamn faith.
That's the most positive you've ever been in your life. I genuinely think that was like the greatest 10 seconds of Timmy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow after the game. We'll see where we're at. But we'll be back. Mateusz, the Polish prince, his butler is going to wake him up with a glass of orange juice, and he'll be hosting the pre-match. So do join us then. The lineup coming out early enables us to start a bit earlier as well. I know it's crack of dawn over here in the U.S., especially if you're on the West Coast, but do join us for the pre-match. And then obviously we'll be here right after for the post-match as well, talking about this win against Ipswich. Have a great Friday, everybody. Enjoy Fulham beating United, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
One more.
Thank you.